Alright fellas, welcome back to another installment of Tomo Stack's content creation videos. Today we're just going to be going into a video where I describe what your character, your main in Mortal Kombat 1 says about you as a person. What attributes we tend to give these characters and the people that play these characters, and good and bad, that both will be mentioned. If your character is prone to more bad than good, that'll obviously come up, and vice versa. So I have a bunch of notes here ready to go. I've got my scholarly glasses so that you guys know that this is all 100% true. I'll be reading from the notes. So I see no reason to delay. Let's go into it. Just moving across the list, we're going to start with your boy Ermac. What Ermac says about you as a player. You enjoy the aesthetics of characters and the lore behind them. You can't help it if he's got crazy cancels and crazy pressure. That's just how they made him in the game. Janet cameo is brain dead. You know it's brain dead. Please consider using a different cameo at some point to try and refresh your love for the character. But all in all, very fun, and you love the fun. So, moving on to Kitana. This character right here, fellas. Hang on, let me set this up. I made sure to write all these down so that I didn't miss any of my thoughts. You are a classic Edenian stan. Not a single, and you mind me here, not a single Kitana player is 100% straight, and that's just a fact. Simply true. Never brought up frame data in the menu, in the lab. Only interested in combo routes with whatever cameo is meta at the current moment. So that's all you get for Kitana. Melina. Oh lordy. Let me consult. You are proud of the fact that you don't know the difference between there, and there. Imagine thinking at all during a fight. Couldn't be these mains. Never, ever seen the inside of a lab. They just copy combos they see in KL and on YouTube videos that come from slightly more intelligent Melina mains. Prone to mashing, prone to not thinking. What more needs to be said about the character, Tanya. Tanya's an interesting one. If you have consistently mained Tanya for an uninterrupted time, you're the kind of fella that enjoys watching paint dry. Invariably uses the Goro cameo unless you want to sacrifice an entire half of your game plan. That's it. Fundamentally, kind of strong. Only the character though. The players, nah. You piggyback on the fact that she has some of the best buttons in the game. Rain. And look at the skin on the boy too. Very, very good skin. Hang on, we got to center that boy. Damn. All right, Rain. I'll start by saying that this character is wild. The variety that he brings is what draws the players to this character, You have pretty crazy combos and setups, which you lab extensively. You're a smart player. You are a smart player if you play Rain. Losing to Rain is respectable. You shouldn't be upset winning a game with Rain. It takes effort. And it's not just all button bashing. It's all calculated presses with this character. So there's that for Rain. Generally good mains. Generally good mains there. Now Smoke. If you are not abusing invisibility, you are going to lose. And you know that. You know that as a Smoke main. So you send that shit on block every single chance you get, or on every single wake up you can if you have bar, regardless of the consequences, regardless of what your opponent has done to counter that. However, you are the only one who knows truly how hard your cancel combos are and how hard cancel pressure can be. Keeping that stuff tight outweighs the carried factor of the invisibility, in my opinion. You feel better than everyone else when you hit this cancel pressure, and it is because you are at this point. If you hit consistent cancel pressure. You are just a skilled player. All right. Moving on. Scorpion. You were born reversed. Legs first. That's how ingrained walking backwards is in your mentality as a player. There's a reason you never see Scorpion mains at offlines. You don't realize what it is because you're not smart enough to think that clearly. The online factor helps this character maybe more than any other in the roster, and he has only gotten stronger with the recent Pharah guaranteed mix. Yeah. There's not much more to say with this character. Carried by online, certainly carried by safe 50-50s. The Pharah cameo has just completely accelerated this guy into top echelons of the characters in this game. And the mains are piggybacking that shit hard. These guys are riders, absolute riders of meta. Right. Taking a very drastic turn, though, are the reptile mains. You, as a person, recognize that you play probably the most balanced character in the entire game. Silent elitists, but the only ones that deserve to call themselves elitists as well, because truly this character is the epitome of balance. There's not too much fucky gimmicks with this character. If you get opened up, that is on you. He has plenty of gaps to armor through. He seems very, very well-rounded. Sub-Zero. Oh, Lord. Let me adjust. I got to do a bunch of reading here. You can't remember if you lost your free will somewhere during your life, or if you never had it at all to begin with. All you know is that you must play Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero mains only play Sub-Zero. There's no variation, no matter the cost. You will play Sub-Zero in every game you possibly run in MK1. You yourself are basically an ice clone. You claim Sub is hard and has no gimmicks. Yeah? You know that's not true. You know deep down that's not true. Especially after you say that, like immediately after throwing 3 of those gimmicks in a row. So, you know it's not true. All right. Lee May. And how about the skin? The buffs weren't asked for. Not even used that very often, They weren't grand buffs. They rounded her out better, I'd say. And, this is a character that mains vibe with. No one runs this character to stick the meta into their opponent's throats. Like, they play her for the challenge and the damage. Like, these are the sort of mains, like true Lee May mains, close their eyes at night, and all they see behind their eyelids is the big gold 500 damage symbol coming up on their screen. That's what they see. Their B&Bs are strong. They know they're strong. Losing to a Lee May does feel bad because you did get outplayed, and the mains know that. The Lee May mains know that. They're good people. They're solid players, absolutely, one and all. Kenshi, tier whore. Always have been, always will be. There's no character loyalists to Kenshi that still play Kenshi because he plays nothing like what he used to in any of the other games. It's not even close. Nothing more needs to be said about this character, I swear. It's just a tier whoring to the absolute upper echelons of MK gameplay. But switching to Baraka now. Straightforward gameplay, and you like that, S tier since week 1, even though he's dropped a bit, you don't mind because you really are a character loyalist. There's more character loyalists that play this character than there are tier whores these days. Honestly, that's all I like to say. I just like to point out the fact that they are absolute legends. Usually, there's only a couple. It's the tier whores that aren't legends and the actual character loyalists to Baraka that have been waiting for him to come back in this game that are, the legends. Garrus. I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget. a student of labbing. It takes a lot of practice to hit these combos, and you're proud of the time you've put in to remain bottom 5. You relish in the wins over top tier because it just proves how much of a better fundamental player you are than they are. You know, you beat them with bottom 5 and they're probably invariably running top 10, I'd say, online. So it's just confirmation that you are, in fact, the better player. Omni-Man. At this point, they're all proper loyalists. Maining this character now takes commitment, and you're happy to make the effort. You know, the only character that can mash pokes without feeling guilty because your frames allow for that. That's your playstyle. Coupled with his parry that, you know, mains know about. They don't use it too much. Like, you're either the main of Omni-Man, who uses it all the time, especially on Wake Up, or not. But he's so fundamentally well-rounded as a character. His frames are good. His buttons are pretty good. He doesn't have a hell of a lot of gimmicks. He does with specific cameos, obviously. But, you know, maining this character, it's either loyalty to the show and the character or loyalty to the badassery that he brings to the game. And I very much respect that. Peacemaker. All right. You don't actually like Mortal Kombat. You don't know much about the lore of the Mortal Kombat series. You saw Peacemaker destroy the meta pre-patch and you picked him up. You still play him. If you're still manning him, it's because you're not actually smart enough to realize that he got nerfed and you don't understand why, or your eaglies aren't coming back as fast this time, or like your full screen torpedo isn't hitting people like it used to. You don't know why, because you're not actually smart enough to realize that he got changed. Now, going down. Homelander. This is a quote. I pulled this quote from Homelander mains directly. So what? My main has the strongest team in the game right now. I play him because I like the show. Yeah. Don't kid yourself, bro. You enjoy free plus frames, nearly unreactable mix, incredible range, pretty good zoning for a game that doesn't really have zoning, and just strings and special moves that allow for so much mashing, especially with the Pharaoh cameo and Janet cameo as well. The full screen diabolical dash, you know, kind of unreactable from jump distance online. Only online though. You might get cooked at offlines and you might not be smart enough to realize why that is. Quan Chi mains. Maining this character takes so much patience and thought. I don't really know how you can do it for such an extended period of time. These are another one of the true loyalist players. These are loyalists right here. Not being able to poke in this game would be hellish. Although, goddamn, do portal setups feel good. That's the feeling that the Quan Chi mains chase. The zoning out in a game with barely any zoning, or the portal setups. That's the good stuff. Havoc. Havoc mains are just kind of playing Havoc to be different from everyone else. All your wins come from the fact that no one remembers he's actually in the game and no one bothers like labbing him or his options, defensive options as well. That sort of play style. Like you're here to be different, you know, which is fine. It's not a bad thing. You just need to know that is why you play the character. There's no loyalty with this character here. All right. Moving along, Natara. You as a player have waited so long for the buffs. She was not a good character, and now the buffs are here. She's a contender for top 5 on a lot of people's tier lists, and you are loving it. They invariably play the Pharaoh cameo online, which makes these... It's hard now to separate Natara loyalists from brain dead meta, riders. I mean, imagine being able to mash your fingers on the controller like a 5-year-old stimming his nuts out and still get like a 500 damage combo. And it's not hard. It's incredibly easy. That's the sort of players that Natara is attracting right now. Whether or not that will change again in the future is yet to be seen. Ashra. Ashra. I think Ashra, more than any other character, has weeded out the tier whores in this game as time has progressed. People still playing her now have made commitments to playing her, and I think it's a respectable one. She is still just as strong. She doesn't have too many fucked aspects, like cheesy fucked aspects. She's just like got really strong specials and normals. Her game plan is very simple. Just be better than the opponent. And most of the time, an Ashra winning the match will be because they are better than their opponent as a player. So I don't actually have too much bad to say about her. Kung Lao. This one right here. There are two very important distinctions I want to make about what this character says about you as a player. You can be one of these two subcategories of Lao mains. Number one, the actual loyalists, the Carls of the scene. These are the minority, but they garner the greater amount of respect by far than the other kind. Lao loyalists are definitely a special breed. They somehow know that their character is going to be strong as fuck in every single game that he's in. But that doesn't have the bearing on their decision. It's because he's Lao. They like the style of the character and the lore behind him, which is definitely respectable. And then the second type of Lao main are people that don't know what the words frame and data mean, especially when put together in a fighting game. These guys are that stupid. Safe launching armor that happens to be plus with the right cameo. It's brain dead stuff. It's definitely a character that has teams that can attract the brain dead players of this game, which is unfortunate because you hate to see it with Lao because, he's been number 2 for so long. Anyway, I could go on about those Lao mains, but I think I'll move on to Johnny. Another of the tier whore characters, this one attracts tier whores for sure because I don't care how into MK you are as a player, no one's favorite character is Johnny. And I mean no one. Not even the creators have this as their favorite character. His game plan is really simple. The tier whores love that. Use some of the best normal buttons in the game to open up your opponent and end in nut punch for a guaranteed jump in Oki. That's it. He's got mix, he's got gimmicks, he's got launching armor if he wants it, he's got safe armor if he wants it. This is after nerfs too. He's been nothing but nerfed and he's still top 5. What more do I need to say about that character in particular? Alright, home stretch now, last quarter. Liu Kang. Basically see the Johnny Cage notes, except he has better zoning and somehow, even with worse buttons, more pressing. The mains that play this character press more than Johnny mains, which is cracked because he shouldn't allow for that. But they do. And here we sit, having... Everyone's lost a set to Liu Kang just pressing buttons for no reason other than that they're allowed to. Raiden. No one character has fallen harder in the tier list, except maybe Peacemaker. Before Peacemaker came out, it was definitely Raiden who had fallen from grace the hardest. I think, personally, it's a welcome fall. I think it's great because it now weeds out the loyalists of Raiden, the people that wanted to play him because they love the little rice farmer, Earthrealm's champion. That's what they're here for. They're here for the lore. He's a very well-designed character. I mean, the skins are very cool. Even being simplistic, they're very nice. His buttons are all good. Getting cheesed out by Raiden is not really a thing anymore, so the mains know that wins are earned now, not just chipped out of the opponent, if you will. They feel good playing him, and they should now. They're allowed to. He's gone down the hill. He's still strong, yes, but not as good as he was. The people playing him now definitely earn respect. Moving on to Reiko. There are people that study frame data, and then there are Reiko mains. Good good Reiko mains, I'd like to say. Understanding how this character works allows you to make basically any other character in the game struggle from all positions on the screen. And as a main, you like that. You like being able to impose your will on the opponent. They have to make some pretty hard reads to get out of Reiko's pressure, which fits into your playstyle nicely. He only allows for scrubby mash at sort of low levels of the game. High levels of the game, the Reiko mains definitely know what they're doing. So smart people, very smart people, I'd like to say. Moving on to Sindel. Queen Edenian, and therefore Queen of the Edenian stands. You know, I say this with love, but like Katana, there's no straight people that play this character, you know. Prone to rage quits, even if they look like they're going to lose the set. You know, they could rage quit first game. They get opened up by like just a regular high. It's over. I quit, you know. This game, bullshit, you know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think, and I've consulted the notes. There's no saving graces written down here. I'm trying to think of one. They can get creative with their combos, you know. Sindel mains, it's probably got something to do with the not being straight. They can be a bit creative. We have 3 characters left, guys. And we're going to start with Shao. Jeez, he's taller than the screen, man. Look at him. We might have to zoom out real quick. What a boy. This has been and is probably still the bruiser of the game. Rarely will you find a character that hits as hard, as consistently as Shao, regardless of what team he's using. And that's one of the aspects that his mains like about him. That's why they're drawn to him. Axeless Shao offers, you know, such strong mix that you can make safe, you can make unsafe if you want to go for the spice, but you can make it safe and it launches. And so that's the reason you aim to drop that axe as often as possible as a main. One of the best groups of whiff punishers in the scene are Shao mains, generally speaking. There's exceptions, obviously. But just, you know, smart, patient players go in when they have to, go back when they need to. I think they're a smart bunch. All right. Second to last is Shang, and the last of the true loyalist mains. Shang mains are, if Sindel mains were creative, Shao mains are artists. You know, their combo roots and extensions, morph combos, old young form combos. It's a beautiful thing to see, and it's not even like cheap. He doesn't offer any cheapness. Like, winning as a Shang main is another thing that reinforces you as a better player, and that's one of the reasons you're drawn to Shang. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about him. Oh, I didn't go into photo mode. I will real quick, because damn, that skin's alright. Alright, last one. Takeda mains. I have written in my notes that they are comparable to Li Mei mains in, you know, a lot of ways. Their buttons on paper are good, not great, they're good, and they both strive for combo damage over 50%, which they can get relatively easily, especially with the right teams. While he is still the newest character in the roster, not a lot of people have stuck it out with him, indicating that Takeda mains might be a sort of new wave of loyalists to the game. There was a lot of hype before he came out, and I think the hype has died, but the loyalists are sticking with him, so I like that. Only time in the game will tell if this is the case, if the loyalists are the ones that are sticking with him. He doesn't have super cheap stuff. He obviously can cheese a couple of things, especially with a couple of teams like Lao cameo. But yeah, it's a solid character and solid mains. So, guys, that's basically it. That's the whole roster. I wasn't going to go over what cameos say about you or anything, because there's no need for that. You know, the main character says it all about you as a player. I hope everyone has enjoyed. I tried to make this as short as possible. Let me know if you have different thoughts to me. Start a discourse. Maybe we can hash it out in the chats. And I'll see everyone later. Thank you.